Welcome, my friend.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. This is great.
This is gonna be great. So thank you for being with us. We are in this conversation, just trying to figure out what's your why, what are you doing, who are you, and how might we engage in it. So
Small stuff.
Small stuff.
So small. Can I first give it up for Fabric, because you know what I'm sitting with right now is this is the most unchurched church that I've been in quite some time. So I seriously give it up for yourselves. I mean,
Hey.
and because sometimes the unchurched means something completely different. But I also think that you guys are such a beautiful example right now of what it really means to embrace church by really embracing unchurched and not being so conformed to the way that we think about it traditionally. So this is great. Excited to be here.
Appreciate that. Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Tabitha.
So the whys and the what I'm up to and all the things.
So I've got, just to like a softball question, because
Yeah.
I think it has something to do with who you are now.
Okay.
But like when you think about, go way back to your childhood, right? little Tabitha, when you were a kid, how did you play? Like, was there a certain toy or a game that totally captivated you?
So let me just be honest. My preference for playing as a kid was daytime soaps. Okay, so
Sweet.
in full,
Did not
I just
see
gotta
that
say,
coming.
in full disclosure, like there's some context there. Like I would have preferred to either be in front of the TV, like Days of Our Lives and One
Yeah.
Life to Live and all my children. Okay,
Uh-huh.
I never really got into. I think it was the CBS soaps, the Guiding Light situation, but the ABC and NBC had me hooked, and I like to read.
Yeah.
So when I think about playing, one of the things, it always felt like a little bit under duress. And this is a premise for my life now. Like sometimes when you really think about yourself or paying attention to yourself, you realize you've been yourself the whole time.
Yeah.
And it would take me a lot to get sometimes what felt like forced outside of the home. Like my mom or my siblings, you're just not going to stay in the house all day. That's how it sounded to me. Okay. But then when I got outside, there was so much joy. And so, like, one of the things that I remember loving was often toys that didn't belong to us because we had wealthier friends down the street.
Yeah.
And they had like a big wheel. I don't even think they call it a big wheel right now, but and we lived on the corner.
Yeah.
So they would get on their big wheel. And let's just say that we were well above the big wheel age.
Yeah.
And we would come flying down the street. And the whole goal was to try to burn rubber around the corner until you fell off. Like, I don't know why that was exciting. Like, let's hurt ourselves, yeah, But that's one of the things I remember. So it took a lot to get out of the house. But once I was out of the house, there was these deep memories. I can almost like smell the grass where I grew up. But I think that even now is something, when I think about who I am, it takes me sometimes a bit to get out of my thing, to have recess.
Yeah.
And just trying to do a better job of that in my life at this moment to be in balance.
To have recess, I love that.
Yeah.
You're talking about like risky play here.
Yeah.
And soap operas. I'll admit, you're speaking an entire different language than me in my childhood. I was a little more risk averse, I'll say.
But what was the toy?
What was the toy for me?
Yeah.
Oh, Batman action figures.
Action
figures. Yeah.
I would have had you as a gamer.
Oh,
Like Atari. Like,
yeah.
Am I
Gaming,
dating ourselves?
yeah.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah. Now I was an action figure. Put Batman in perilous situations and then have him figure out how to. Yeah. Yeah. I have a scar on my forehead from a Batman toy when I was in a car accident, dangling a Batman toy by his feet, by that little handle, the crap handle, and the horns hit my forehead. Yeah. So I guess I'm not that risk averse.
Well, no. And so it sounds like that you kind of Mr. Hyde your toys.
Oh,
Do you know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like
Yes.
just completely reconfigure. Okay.
Yeah, a Batman toy and a shoelace. That's all I needed.
I got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, okay, so we'll fast forward to somewhat more recently.
Okay.
Like as you look out at the landscape around us, metaphorically in all the ways, socially, you look out at the landscape. What stirs something up in you about what is, or what troubles you? What's broken?
I think when I thought about this, what comes up for me most is me. Like when I think about the landscape of the world and this community and my community, or how I define community, guys, I gotta say, I've been so disturbed that I don't feel like I've done my work. Like I was like, wow, when did I stop being light? When did I stop being salt? When did I stop praying in public? When did I stop serving without people watching? When did I stop being so frustrated by other people's opinions and really think about what does it mean to model his fruit so that it's my fruit? So I think that what troubles me is sometimes what keeps me up at night is, did I become a Christian in name only? When did I forget what dead works really is? And it's troubling only to the degree that I know that there is a lot of work to do, and then I'm comforted at the same time because I know that he doesn't have me do that work alone. But it's really been more, I think, this season of deep reflection, of not wanting to be a part of the problem deeply, but also trying to hold that I am a part of the problem in many ways, and focusing in on being able to name that for myself so that it's not about look at what they are doing and look at what is happening, so that I can be really open and yielding, in a posture of yieldedness, to say, what would you have me do? Because I think that that's the deep work is, am I willing to keep saying yes to God? Am I willing to keep saying yes to service? Am I willing to keep saying yes to reimagine spaces? So that's some of the Flourish work, is when we walk alongside, or attempt to walk alongside, congregations who are experiencing what I call church context in this country. So aging congregations, aging buildings, deferred maintenance. There's always this deep question, where are the young people? We need to bring in the young people. And I'm fascinated in these moments because it's sometimes hard and sobering to then also share with sometimes the people we try to serve, or clients, with as much love as possible. Sometimes that's not what God has for you, is to go back to what you had, or to grow, or for young people to be a part of the congregation again in the way that you remember it. And that is hard work. That is hard to not tell people that they're wrong for wanting it. But there's elements, even biblically, where it just speaks to our desire to conform to the world, more so than to be renewing our mind about what is God calling us to. Right. So even this is, I think, hard for a lot of people of faith to believe that worship outside of walls is what is actually the most essential form of worship. And I mean that literally and figuratively.
I mean, you're really talking about a posture of trust in God and something bigger than you can dictate for yourself, it sounds like.
Well, that, and I think, I am grateful that part of my story is that God has allowed me to be a part of his redeem. Check that box, yes. And yes, I also think that he has given me this deep sense of what I call secular values in terms of service and love and kindness, that I also want to lift up, because I think there's so many things about his plan that I don't want to indict, that doesn't necessarily align with who I am or my faith, beliefs, which, because I think, thank you, that he is so powerful and right, that far be it for me to say that this group or this faith tradition is not a part of his plan. I mean, that also, I think, is humbling to sometimes accept that even scripturally, his ways are above my own. And I don't necessarily need to be able to hold all of it, but that creates dissonance. That creates a disruption in how you think about your own faith, which then I think sometimes puts us on our heels and almost makes us want to weaponize our faith, as opposed to embracing what's been given to me versus what's been given to you are completely different things.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the reasons that a community like Fabric exists is that there is a lot of weaponization of like faith as an idea, but also the Bible has been used to hurt rather than to inspire curiosity or get to know. So I think that in a lot of ways, like, yeah, like having an open-mindedness, an open approach, an open-handed approach to all this makes sense. I mean, even the language you use to describe kind of your own faith is perhaps more foreign to a lot of folks than Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate your groundedness in this conversation, and I'm curious, like, what do you do? You've talked a little bit about you mentioned Flourish.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about how through Flourish or in any other way you've been, as I look at your sort of resume,
Yeah.
you've done a lot. And
Well,
I'm curious how would you characterize the work that you do?
So there's the Flourish side, which is, I think on both, I have a consultancy that's about, the language is kind of individual and organizational effectiveness, but that's just a fancy way of saying I try to help other leaders.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. And Flourish is really about, again, trying to help not only leaders within a church, perhaps, or a leader within a community center or a theater, think about space not necessarily just being those who have the title to the building or the property.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to really steward things well for the season that you have it in service of who will steward it next?
Yeah.
And that's the piece, just even in leadership consulting, that's what I would call the through line in some of my work is how do you encourage and support people to hold what they've been given well now, knowing that they may not always be the ones to hold it in the future.
Yeah.
What are we and what is our posture to hold things? Often I say with the kid's grip, if you go up to a child and they have something in their hand as an adult, it doesn't probably take much for us to take it from them, not out of anger, but just because their grip is a bit weak, unformed. And I honestly think that is how God has called us to hold everything that we see, everything that we are allowed to steward for a season, that we don't fall so in love with our hold on it that we are not willing to give it up. And I mean that for everything, whether that be a relationship, whether that be a building, whether that be wealth, whether that be a point of view. I think what we are been given is for us to hold and care for and nurture it with love, and then because we serve a living God, be wild when he takes it from us. That we are wild when he takes these buildings, that we are wild when he takes policy, that we are wild when he takes our wealth, that we are humbled and wild when he takes health. Because it's all a part of what he's doing and not what we're doing. And that is that deep work to get comfortable with not falling in love with the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like when we were doing the game, the clap, jump, meow, how I got to control that at you, right? But how many of you felt uncomfortable even just doing that exercise? Yeah, like there's a little discomfort. And then
I was angry. I wanted to win. Listen, I wanted to win. I was like, why can't I get this whole sequence? I'm like, I know Pastor Ian has a prize at the end. Why can't I not get this? Yeah, I was frustrated.
Yeah. I mean, I think of what you're talking about is that grip on everything, and I feel inclined to like white knuckle my way through a lot of life, like hold on to control of what I can hold on to as firmly as I can, and to hold it loosely and to let whatever it is breathe and take on new shape feels like a challenge. So I'm curious for you, like what's that struggle been like for you, or how have you adjusted over time to sink into how you are uniquely equipped for the work you do to help communities to hold things more loosely instead of white knuckling even ideas or things like buildings into what I've heard you describe buildings as the possibility as being like perpetual community assets.
Yeah.
I think you called it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that in truth, I'm no different than I think everybody here, people walking in the park where I can become comfortable in what I call a season or a chapter. You know, I think that we are all called to have our own book, maybe, you know, even a trilogy for some of you. But, and the goal here I think that God has for us is to get to the end of it. And yet we will get stuck on a page. Have you ever read, like you're reading a good book and you keep reading the same line or the same paragraph and you can't quite understand, why can't I get past, like you're kind of enjoying it, or maybe you hate it, but it's for book club that you don't really ever prepare for. And so you feel like you got to muscle it through. But I think this is about this idea that believing there's always something on the other side of letting go.
Yeah.
And a dear friend of mine gave me that on a magnet years ago before she's now become, again, what I would call one of the loves of my life in terms of rooted and welcoming and warm and all the things, and just part of my chosen family. But I think that that is the thing that I'm now, what I would say, not irrationally, but trying to be radically focused on is my book. And this deep appreciation for every line that he allows me to write, every paragraph that I believe that he's called me to, every chapter that I think reflects my purpose, but I am committed to getting to the end.
Yeah.
And getting to the end doesn't mean winning. Getting to the end doesn't mean achieving a thing. Getting to the end, you know, I could go on. I think for me, it is understanding I need to constantly care about this muscle of letting go. Yeah. Which means that there is work for me to do to always be willing to demonstrate that in my life. What am I willing to let go of? Am I willing to let go of a title? Am I willing to let go of a position that's no longer serving my personal beliefs or my spiritual purpose? What am I willing to let go of to fully get to the end of my book so that I can hear him say, well done, my good and faithful servant? And I don't even know if I'll hear him say it to me. This is sometimes the truth of it. Like, I think he allows me to hold that aspirationally, but I think that his love will still cover me when he say, I can't say it to you, but come on in anyway. That's the God I serve. I serve a living God that is going to allow me in regardless of what I am, because I'm done with the dead works. Yeah. I know I'm insufficient. I know I'm never going to be good enough. And yet I'm done with talking about how other people are not good enough, what other people don't have and what other people are doing. I want to be salt and light, and that's, I just think, a part of the book.
What's the title of your book?
I'm done.
I'm done.
Don't you sometimes just be done with it all? Like, I'm tired. I want to put my feet up. I'm done, and that's a proxy for so much. Yeah. I'm done with the tussling, and I'm done with the arguing. I'm done with trying to make a group who thinks differently than me feels less than. I tell you, we are good, specifically, let's talk about it in this country, talking about other two-state solutions that people should have. Maybe we should have a two-state solution. Divide it up. I don't mean that people need to move, but let me carry a card. Like with AI, and just when you pull me over, you understand that I'm not a part of that country, I'm a part of this country. And I don't prescribe to that rule, I prescribe to that rule. And I'm not about hoarding, I'm about serving. And I'm not a part of you getting inordinate wealth. I'm about always making sure that everybody has enough. And so let me be a part of that. If that's so wrong, that's cool. You go do your thing and I'll go do my thing. But I think that that's me just saying that is something about being willing to understand that I'm not interested in conforming to this world. When I think, for me, when it's gotten too difficult, when it seems to be unconscionable, I think that's when we should all say we're all holding too tight. Oof. Can we talk about it? When it feels like we're about to get rope burn. Yeah. For the policies we believe we need to have. For the things that need to be different. I honestly believe it's because we're not willing to let go of that which is not serving most of us. And so when we let it go, are we willing not to be so anxious and overwhelmed, but trust that through prayer and supplication, that which he wants for us comes forward? I don't think that we ultimately really believe that. I think that we hold on so tight because, in part, it is more easy to still hold on to what we know and to what we have, including for myself. Like the way that I got here today, it wasn't like I got creative and went to Minnetonka first and then came back east. I mean, I came from the east. So I was like, I know exactly how I'm going to go there. Like I navigated to this destination with a degree of familiarity and comfort. Yeah. generally speaking, we are not always quick to think about what do we need to let go or change
Yeah.
in order to move in the way and the rhythms
Mm-hmm.
that we are called to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. Letting go. That's so uncomfortable. Holding things
Right?
loosely. Yeah.
It's hard.
It is. It's hard. I mean, do you have sort of a, I don't know, you're among community right now. I'm
Yeah.
curious, like how would you hope that others can come alongside you, or how have you helped others come alongside you in that looser posture?
I think it's the best that I can encourage each of you now is to always look for something to refine. Even this, like I wanted to say this because it was the breeze on my face and the sun, and I was like, man, I should have not taken off my sunglasses. This is so beautiful and dope. But I also believe that there is a 3.0 or 4.0 for fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in this, if you've been doing this for the past several years, the question that I would encourage you to think about, not only is it beautiful and working, but then when do you let this go?
Mm-hmm.
It is always asking, how do I not put the thing on a pedestal? How do I not worship what in his generosity has been given to me to steward for a season?
Mm-hmm.
I believe in seasons. I think it's a metaphor for many things, and it's not because you come to end of relationship. Sometimes just even in all the relationships, even with parents and siblings, my relationship with my parents look significantly different than when they were the primary, what I would call guardian or rearing me, right? Now, and I can say this, it feels when we're on our family calls like they're my friends, and I have this deep responsibility to try to call out what sounds foolish, like where are you driving to at 82 and when are you, without trying to tell them you can't do that.
Yeah,
like
give me the keys.
Okay,
Yeah.
like it's this dance.
Yeah.
But when we're dancing, I'm always reminded to keep dancing with them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I don't want to step on their toes. At one point they were leading, now I'm leading in some ways, but I don't want to speed up.
Yeah.
So I think it is about how do we dance with life in a way that is not about always leading, always it looking beautiful or seamless and award-winning, but that people just embrace the effort.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
So I think that is the thing for each of us is to find your own way of dancing.
Yeah.
And commit to dancing even when it feels clunky or that you might step on people's toes. But I think it's for us all not to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Love that. To take that metaphor. Yeah,
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. To take that metaphor even a step further, I feel like a lot of times in my life, I think this is true for individuals, and I think it's true for groups and communities and institutions and governments and whatever.
Yeah.
That like when you're at a dance, at some point the song changes.
Yes.
There's a new rhythm,
Right.
but you got to listen for it. There's a new dance to do, but you got to be willing to not do the old thing, right? And I think that having that kind of posture of flexibility and listening and adaptation and innovation can't end when we get comfortable or really good at the dance we were doing 2 songs ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've even being here today, I was just enjoying the music so much. And I was like, when I think about what I want to work to myself, it's a prayer to God that he allows me to have a sabbatical year. And the sabbatical year will be, for me, in part, 12 genres of music. I want to go to 12 different concerts every month. That's
a lot of concerts.
That's not only a lot of concerts, but I'm going to kind of cheat and do multiple concerts in a month. But the focus on each month is a different genre of music.
Yeah.
Because I think that just like laughter is universal,
Yeah.
I think music can be universal.
Yeah.
And there's things that just touch the soul. And I think what I'm yearning for is inspiration to keep turning my pages.
Yeah.
And I find that in music, whether it be bluegrass or folk or R&B or hip hop or jazz or classical, like there is something that I think allows me to imagine the next page in ways that I don't always grant myself on the hamster wheel of what the day-to-day looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, last two. We'll do them
Yeah.
quickly. Are you
Okay,
ready?
I'm
All
ready.
right. Last two questions. One is, tell us about where your hope is. Like, what's making you come alive right now as you look at community out here?
My hope is in the work, right? Like my hope truly, and I mean that sincerely, like whatever work that you've been called to do, my hope is in that. My hope is in that this desire to do the thing that you've been called for to, and for me specifically, as well as I can, not because I believe perfection is a thing at all, but whatever you've been called to, that my hope is in, that is that one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
You know, like, so when you wake up, what are you called to do? Were you called to give the person the resources that you thought you didn't have, but magically you have, or that you didn't want to give because you've always given it, but in the middle of the night, God worked on you and changed your heart? Like, whatever the work is, or the job that you're at that you know that you shouldn't have been at for the past 3 years and that you finally decided to move on from, like, whatever the work is, in order for your light to shine, in order for us to be salt, I believe that there are things that basically limits our ability to be light, and certainly takes the flavor out of who we are called to be. And that's the work, rooting that out at all costs. What is slowing you down from demonstrating irrational kindness and irrational love and being very temperate with your language, controlling yourself? This is all work for us. I don't have a secret sauce for somebody else.
Yeah.
That's not what this is. What I'm doing is saying I am going to try to be very much aware and working on who I am at all times, so that I can let go of whatever I have at any time.
Yeah. I mean, that language about being salt, about being light, a lot of times we talk about showing up as your true self, not just a version of it, not cosplaying some version of it, that like, that is what we get to do, is show up as our full true selves. All right, last question is, how can people find out more about you or follow along with your work or otherwise join in what you're up to?
That's a great question. So we would love it if you checked us out at Flourish Placemaking.org, which is one of the primary organizations that I serve. And so that's could be any number of ways. If you're looking to have an event in community, we're right down here in South Minneapolis. Like if you needed to rent space, we have space for kind of sometimes one-time gatherings, or if you need office space. We've reimagined what traditionally had been a primary, which clearly the Fabric knows as a tenant, just a church, to be trying to be more than a church.
You may already know this. We rent from the Center of Belonging, which is owned by Flourish Placemaking Collective.
Yeah. Right? So that's one way. And then, again, for me personally, again, I'm not on the medias yet. Like I was confessing to Pastor Ian that I need to right that ship, but I'm not on the tick and the talk. I don't do the Instagram thing. Like, and then when I try to get credit for LinkedIn, people just kind of side eye me like, you need to stop, knock it off. Right, but that really is the only way.
I'm on LinkedIn just to get emails from them.
Yeah, but no, I would say the best way is to check us out, see what we're trying to do over at Flourish. And I think that what we like to say is we're trying to have 3 priorities. We try to provide some degree of coaching and consulting and collaboration with many churches or organizations that's trying to reimagine and reclaim how their space is used in service of not just their mission, but the community where they're planted. We are trying to be a micro developer. This is why we own the property at 3501 South Aldrich. And then we're trying to work on, in the near term, some advocacy around getting more resources into the hands of people who are community-centered that own property, so that there's less deferred maintenance, that things can be taken care of in a way so that when you're ready to leave it to the next person, that's really what it is. It's not just about, sometimes mission-centered organizations, is what I say is always so focused on the work, the programming, the services, that the building can go into disrepair. We would love it if community-centered organizations just had what they need in order to steward space well until they no longer were the stewards of that space.
So ownership is temporary, interim. But
mean,
so are our lives. you know,
ownership
it's-
is the cosplay.
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
we-
yeah.
Do we really own any of it?
No.
That's a separate podcast.
Yeah, that's a
so
whole
I
other
won't
idea. Yeah.
drag y'all down
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yay!
Thank you, Tabitha. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
being a part
Caspian.
of this. Appreciate
great.
you. Yeah.